And talk more movies because we're going to have Mike Crowley, the film critic from You'll Probably Agree Reviews, YPAreviews.com, and have you also seen Superman? They've seen Superman.
I have not yet.
Yeah.
All right. And it's causing a poop storm out there for no apparent reason.
Well, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
The ones who are getting all pooped up about it, they haven't seen the movie. And if they have seen the movie and that's the way they feel about it, too bad.
They've been told it's woke.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
You know, everything is woke. Superman is woke now.
Yeah.
Batman is woke.
Yeah.
The Star Wars. Did you know Star Wars is woke?
So woke.
I mean, Andor. Woke AF.
Woke.
That's totally woke. Everything is woke. X-Men are woke. Did you know that the X-Men are woke now?
God.
They're woke now.
Anything other than licking the boot is woke to them. Is basically what it is.
Yellowstone, not woke though. But if you watch Yellowstone, that is one of the most wokest shows you'll ever watch.
Is it really?
It is. It's incredibly woke.
I thought all the conservatives liked Yellow.
They do, and I saw a guy doing a conservative columnist did a review about it, talking about how it's not woke. I'm going, how are we watching the same show? It's talking about the exploitation and abuse of Native Americans. It's talking about how the white man came and took over the land and how one person shouldn't own that much land.
They don't have that basic comprehension. They lack that ability.
Well, this is like my brother-in-law. We don't need to go into names because he's very high profile. But at any rate, we were at holidays and he turned to my husband Steve, his brother-in-law, and said, "Have you seen this Colbert Report? It's so fun." And didn't get that.
Get that it's a satire of him.
Yes, it was a satire of conservatives. Yeah, this was like in the 90s or whatever. Whenever the Colbert Report was on, was that like the aughts or something? Yeah,
making fun of the Bill O'Reilly types. And yes, he's not the only one. I saw lots of conservatives that didn't get that it was a joke. They just thought it was. They just thought it was Comedy Central giving conservatives their own view after the Daily Show. Right. Like, okay, Daily Show is going to be liberal. We're going to do conservative view at the Colbert Report. I'm like, it's like, what is it? The ability to sense satire is a sign of intelligence. It's
they don't have that ability.
They don't
to comprehend it.
Yeah.
It's basic comprehension that they just lack, and it's so funny.
It is.
Yeah. Well,
and woke.
Well, there's an element of critical thinking that you have to have in order to get humor. That's just a fact, right? And that's the reason why people, they wonder why there aren't more conservative comedians. And I just gave you the answer. Yeah.
They did that. I remember when Fox News, the Fox channel did their own version of the Daily Show. It lasted a few weeks because it wasn't funny.
Have I ever told you that I was hired to do a 3-minute set on basically a conservative pilot for it was who was the Janine Turner was there. You know what's her name from Northern Exposure.
Yeah. It turns out she's a crazy right wing whatever, and she used to be so cute.
She's still beautiful.
But I'm just saying, she had that pixie cut.
Yes.
And all that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It was a very embarrassing moment. Yes,
I don't mean to objectify her as just that, but I'm just saying.
I was taking the money, and this is before. I think this is kind of like the beginning, and maybe just at the tip of Trump's administration the first time. And I was asked to do a 3 to 5 minute set because I had sort of like innocuous family material, and the guy who hired me knew that I was a lefty. I think he did it they'll take the money kind of a thing, but it never went. I knew I kind of figured no one was ever going to see it. So
I would have taken the money.
I got some cash. I got a trip out to Texas, and but at any rate, so Janine Turner, I walked in the bathroom and I heard her voice talking to somebody. So when she came out, it was so embarrassing. I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "I love Northern Exposure." And I went to shake her hand. She's like, "Can I wash my hands first?" Which was appropriate. Okay. That was appropriate to ask if she could wash her hands first. It seemed, which I apparently didn't care. I don't know.
Did you know that washing your hands is woke now?
It's not surprising whatsoever.
Look,
because if you can't see germs.
Yeah.
They're not there. They don't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of social media stuff out there about not. There's another one about men that was disturbing.
Which
is the procedure by which when they're done with number 2, that they just stand up. They don't sit to take care of the cleaning part of it.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
God.
That would be no.
I hope no one's about to have dinner. Everybody.
I will say, as a man. It is alarming the number of, and I've been in bathrooms, plenty of bathrooms. It is alarming the number of men who go into bathrooms and then they don't wash their hands when they leave.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They just don't.
It's a nightmare for me because I'm OCD. I'm a huge germaphobe, and it's just I don't do public restrooms for that reason. I do not trust other men to have basic hygiene.
Yeah. No, if I see you just come out of a bathroom, I'm not.
Oh, God.
No.
I'm not shaking hands.
No, because if I go, I do the counting thing. I have to find soap and I have to do the counting.
Do you do a happy birthday to me? Happy birthday. That's like the,
something like that.
that
Happy
song
birthday
is
to me. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to me. And then make sure I have to get my hands all wet. But I see some guys just go in there. They like barely put their hands under the automatic water thing, and then they think that's it. They're done.
How do you live like that?
I don't.
How?
Well, it's woke.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to wash your hands, you're now woke. It's all the wokeness out there threatening people. This is America. If I don't want to wash my hands, I shouldn't have to. The founding fathers gave me that right. It's in the Constitution, you know, somewhere in there.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit wound up today.
Yeah, it was because you were excited to be on Progressive Talk.
I am. Yes, I was explaining that the other station I'm at is in a conservative, formerly a very conservative radio station, although trying to move away from that. And I'm on a morning show where I swear to you, they are now coming after me and trying to get me to talk politics in the morning because we said it's a no politics rule. And there's some of the old callers who call in and they start lobbing, pitches at me, waiting for me to go after them. And thank goodness I've got a co-host that goes, no, Elliott, don't take the bait. It happened just last week for the whole 4th of July thing. I had a guest host, and the owner of the station, who's a conservative, he knew it was right after the big beautiful bill got passed. I'm doing the air quotes here, and he came in and he was my co-host, and he knew of the place I was in. And the first thing he said, we went on air. So what do you think about that big beautiful bill? It's great, huh? And I was like,
well, I came in and was telling Arad and Elliott that it is what's looming is so bad. But here's the thing: is that we think of it like everyone's like, oh, they're backloading it, so the cuts aren't going to hit until 2026. Is not accurate because a lot of these places have to forecast like what their funding is going to look like, and there are already funds that have been eliminated, grants and things like that. Are you guys experiencing anything like that in your neck of the woods?
Thankfully, not. With the Geneva Library, our Secretary of State, Alexi Giannoulias, actually, in anticipating these cuts, actually provided us and a number of other libraries throughout the state with an increase in our grants.
Oh, that's right. To protect the libraries. Yeah.
Yeah. So thankfully, we're kind of benefiting from all that. And also the library is in a position where it's a very affluent neighborhood. So we've also been diversifying our revenue so that we're not totally relying on grants and property taxes. But no, it's certainly a concern. I'd imagine schools are going to be hit hard. Mm-hmm. And it's at what point, and I know this would be terrible for the country and the Constitution, but states like California, Illinois, New York give so much to the federal government in terms of taxes. At what point do we just say enough is enough? Right. We're holding on to our stuff.
Well, I think that there are a couple of states. I actually just read a memo on this about a couple of states that are going to attempt to withhold their funding, and but the thing is that the federal government supersedes state laws. Yep. But I think that Governor Newsom is trying to figure out a way around that.
But the president loves states' rights. He really loves that the states should be able to do their own thing. Why doesn't he just let the blue states do their own thing? He's letting the red states do their own thing, I mean, although I don't know how Mississippi is going to keep their hospitals open at this point,
Oh, well, and how are we? We have 9 that will probably close in Illinois, 90 senior facilities that are vulnerable. But here, from NBC, in 4 states, there are bills that direct state officials to withhold payments owed by the state to the federal government if federal agencies have acted in contravention, this is going to be legal stuff, of judicial orders or have taken unlawful actions to withhold funds previously appropriate. Oh, so saying that funding for their programs within their states that was decided by Congress, can we withhold the funding then in order to hold it up ourselves? Yeah. In order to fund those programs. Yeah. Oh, boy. But
that's what we should do. We talk about how Democrats need to grow spines. This is how they grow spines. This is how we genuinely make an argument to the American people that we recognize that the pendulum will swing our way.
Right.
And that when we control both houses of Congress and when we take the White House, ideally in 2028, right, we will be in the position to serve everybody. We won't be doing, frankly, like with what Joe Biden did with having Merrick Garland as AG, and not recognizing that there are some moments in which you shouldn't be thinking about, oh, what are the political ramifications? Because what we've been dealing with is the constitutional ramifications, right? When we have Donald Trump openly degrading the rule of law, he is reducing the scope of the judiciary. He's usurping the legislative branch, usurping Congress by canceling congressionally appropriated funding. We need to have a spine, and we need to make that clear now. Because I mean, Republicans like to throw around this stupid poll showing that the approval rating for the Democratic Party is like 20%, something like that. The best way to actually up that number is for us to actually stand for something.
Yeah.
Make it clear that, one side is a fascistic, like just deeply, I mean, I'm the...
Dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire. Alligator Alcatraz is a concentration camp. These people are Nazis. I am the grandson and great-grandson of those who have survived the Nazis, survived the Soviets, survived ethnic cleansing in Iraq. These people are the same strain of evil. And we need to have an actual opposition party that stands for democracy and actually has spines and doesn't just, bend the knee or pretend to play dead. That is the exact opposite thing that we need to do. So withholding these kinds of funds, saying we're going to take care of ourselves because the federal government does not have our back, that's exactly what states should be doing.
I agree. I think that's and I would even say I would go further, but I've been told by people who do a lot of the grassroots organizing that we don't want to hurt people. But I'm like, hey, if they're parts of our state that, elected people like LaHood and Mary Miller, then they already voted to not have that funding. So we can go ahead and put that to the places where the electeds, because their votes in this state, from this state, affected everybody nationally. Right. So I'm just saying, I've been told that that's too punitive to do it within our own state even. But you're uncomfortable.
I'm a little uncomfortable because
I'm just saying, I'm just spitballing here. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but go ahead. What?
No, it's fine. Like there's a line for me internally of, I hate to see people suffer.
Right.
I get that these people voted for Trump. I get that Mississippi is just so red. They love what Trump is doing, and they're going to be the hardest hit.
No, I don't want them to suffer either, I think that has to be accessible.
Yes.
We have to take a break. We actually have a guest coming up who is a former federal prosecutor. We're going to talk about Judge Hannah Dugan. Do you remember this is the federal judge in Wisconsin who was apprehended or arrested because she was helping migrants who were being targeted by ICE in her court building. More after this on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150. We're in studio with Elliott Serrano, Chief Geek Officer of the Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez show, and Arad Boxenbaum, the elected library board in Geneva, Illinois. More after this. Thank you for joining us.
You know that you can listen to Chicago's Progressive Talk on WCPT AM 820. Stream us live at WCPT820.com and on the TuneIn Radio app. Or you can ask Alexa, Siri, or Google to play WCPT from TuneIn. But now you have another option. We're simulcasting our programming overnights. 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. on WSBC AM 1240 for a clearer reception in and around the city. Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820. And now overnights on WSBC 1240 AM, where facts matter.
Is your upper floor too hot in the summer? Are energy bills climbing with every degree? Green Attic can help. With over 15 years of experience and more than 1,000 five-star reviews, Green Attic is a trusted Chicagoland name for insulation, ventilation, and roofing solutions that improve comfort, energy efficiency, and indoor air quality. They specialize in attic insulation, spray foam, crawl space encapsulation, mold remediation, and solar attic fan installation, all designed to keep your home cooler in the warmer months. Green Attic also offers full-service roofing through Green Attic Roofing, including traditional and solar roofing systems with instant online quotes and long-lasting eco-friendly materials. Green Attic backs its work with the industry's only 10-year labor warranty, plus lifetime warranties on selected materials. Schedule a free insulation consultation at greenattic.com or get an instant roofing quote at greenatticroofing.com. That's greenattic.com and greenatticroofing.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from 2.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us. We continue to drive it home. Joining me in studio, our Chief Geek Officer for the Patti Vasquez Driving It Home show, and Arad Boxenbaum, who is who is a member of the Library Board of Geneva, Illinois. And joining us on the phone, and thank you for your time and expertise, is Stephen Kravit, a Milwaukee attorney and former federal prosecutor. We spoke to him in recent weeks about Judge Hannah Dugan, who had been arrested at her courthouse for assisting immigrants. Here, why don't you tell us the story on where we are today, Stephen?
Okay.
Hi.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so Judge Dugan was arrested a week or so after she allegedly allowed an immigrant and his counsel to leave by a side door that led to the open hallway about 15 feet away from the main door. That is the only action that she actually did. Now, before that, they alleged that when these ICE agents, actually they were DEA agents working with ICE, came to arrest this immigrant in the courthouse in Milwaukee, she came out to talk to them, asked her to look at the warrant. The warrant was an administrative warrant, not a warrant issued by a judge, a warrant issued by somebody in the office of ICE. And she said, well, you need to go talk to the chief judge, because at that time the courthouse did not have a policy about those kinds of arrests. And they went off to talk to the chief judge. Meantime, 2 undercover agents were still there. She went back in her courtroom. The immigrant and the lawyer came into the courtroom, approached the bench, the government says out of turn, and there was some discussion off the record, and then they meaning the lawyer and the immigrant, left by this side door that led to the main hallway. And after that, the undercover agents followed the individual and his lawyer to an elevator where they went outside, and then they were arrested. So anyway, the charge is that the judge committed harboring a fugitive and corruptly interfering with the arrest, corruptly interfering with the lawful arrest of someone. So the defense lawyers moved on constitutional grounds, immunity for judges doing what they normally do in their courtroom, which is not just decide cases, but they also organize when cases are decided, where people sit, how they come in, how they go, keeping order in the court. Those are all established, defined roles for judges, and they are not reviewable, even if they do it wrong. That's what judges are empowered to do. And they also said under the 10th Amendment of the Constitution, these are the kinds of powers that are left to the states, and the federal government can't interfere with it. So they made a substantial motion for judicial immunity, cited the Trump case, because, of course, Mr. Trump has magic immunity given by the Supreme Court for virtually anything he does, and said, well, judges have that too. That branch has it too. An extension of the civil immunity, you can't sue a judge just because you think they're wrong, and so forth. The matter was presented to a magistrate judge, which is how it works in the federal system here and most places, where the magistrate judge takes a first cut at early motions in criminal cases. And that happened here, and she wrote an opinion, a long opinion. About 30 pages of the opinion are very accurate rendition of case law, mostly for immunity for judges, and 10th Amendment law, such as it is. There isn't much. And she ended up concluding, however, that because the government used the word corruptly in the interference with process claim, that corruptly is a question of fact as to what is corrupt. Now, every other case that charges a judge with corruption, doing something corruptly, involves a payoff, and outside of the judicial system, obvious crime, like one judge, killed his wife. Well, hello. I mean, that's not immune. So what does corruptly mean in this context? Well, apparently it means that they think they can prove she believed that the immigrant law is unfair. Well, think about that. That's a thought crime. It doesn't matter what she was thinking if all she was doing was organizing her courtroom to prevent disruption, taking a case out of order and suggesting leaving to the public hallway through a different door. That's what the government says she did. And she did it corruptly. Why? Maybe she disagreed with the arrest of random immigrants in the courthouse. Maybe not. What difference does it make? What she was doing, what the government says she was doing, was absolutely within her power to do, irrespective of the reason why.
Right.
Because if you start punishing thought crimes as corruptly, well, half the population right now is committing thought crimes.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, no kidding. Wow. And so what are the next steps in this process? Because, we heard...
Yeah. The magistrate's decision is not the last word, so it's actually a recommendation to the district judge. The district judge is Judge Lynn Edelman, who is a man in his mid-80s who, let's just say, quarters no BS. He is a straight shooter, initially comes from what people say is sort of the liberal side of things. However, he was the only Democratic state senator ever elected in Waukesha County, which is the most Republican county, one of the 3 most Republican counties in the country. And he was a Democratic state senator from there. So he definitely has political chops. And he's been a judge for 20-plus years. So, I mean, he's a judge for that reason. Anyway, it was assigned to him, and we have confidence that he will not buy that just using the word corruptly in an indictment means that you have to go to trial.
Right.
You have to have facts that relate to some sort of corruption. And we're hoping the same matter will be briefed for him. There's a briefing schedule. It's short. In lawyer world, it's short, meaning it's about 4 weeks long. And then he will write his own decision, probably, I would imagine, September sometime.
Well, I'm really...
So that's what's going on.
It'll be interesting. I know that a lot of folks will be watching this because before we let you go, I have to imagine this, really has an impression. It chills a lot of other judges around the country, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you backtrack to what actually happened here, the cynical nature in which they go into courthouses to do this, their justification to arrest in the courthouse is, hey, we know the date that person is going to be there, and they have to go through security to get in the courthouse, and therefore we know they aren't armed. Great. In this case, that's exactly what happened. They went through security, determined they weren't armed, watched every step of the way by these undercover agents. One would ask, why wasn't he arrested right there in the hallway before he ever got to a courtroom?
Right.
And if that justification means anything, no. Instead, they let him go to court. They let all this happen. And, I could argue and have suggested to the lawyers that they later argue if this thing gets to a trial phase that she was entrapped by these people. There was no reason on God's green earth to go to that courtroom to make the immigrant go through whatever was going on in the courtroom before arresting him. It made no difference. What he was charged with was not a felony. It wasn't an offense that would have immediately disqualified the person. It was a domestic battery. I mean, not that that's good. It's just not the point. If you're looking for really violent criminals, that's not where you look. So anyway, I'm sorry. I do have feelings about the case because it's such an outrage, but as a legal matter, we are hopeful that some very interesting precedent will be set here, and we should be Judge Dugan should be cleared.
I really appreciate your insight, and I look forward to a good resolution of this. I don't know if I can count on it, obviously, and that's why we rely on you and the work that good lawyers like you are doing. So we look forward to talking to you again, Stephen, if you would join us and give us any updates as this progresses.
I will, and I should make a comment to your readers that I've read some of your stuff as published.
Binocular Brewing Company?
Published, and, yes, and some of it was fantastic.
Oh, I appreciate that.
It brought me to tears. When you were packing up your son, that one was awesome.
Oh, I appreciate that.
It was really well written. So, anyway, good luck to you. Thanks.
Oh, thank you. We'll talk again. That's Stephen Kravit with Kravit Law in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee. It's KravitLaw.com. And we'll talk to him again soon about this case. It's really important, and I think will determine a lot of what happens next in courtrooms in this country. Take care. Have a good weekend, or try to.
Yeah, thank you, Patty.
Bye, Stephen. You too. Let's take a break here. We'll come back with our guests in studio. We have in studio Arad Boxenbaum, who is elected member of the library board in Geneva, Illinois. Elliott Serrano. We'll talk about his radio show that he cheats on us with. Elliott Serrano is the chief geek officer here for Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez, and we'll continue this conversation when we come back.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely tonight with a low temperature of 72 degrees and south winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Saturday, scattered showers and storms with a high temperature of 86 and southwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunday, lots of sun, high around 83. Monday, sunny with a high temperature of 88 degrees. Tuesday, scattered showers and storms with a high temperature around 88. Wednesday, chance of storms and a high of 86. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 91.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
This is First Take at Daybreak with Al Kendall. Sundays, 7 a.m., where sharp minds meet real conversations. From city programs making a difference to guests shaping Chicagoland's future, Al's got the mic and the message. You'll hear from folks like Board President Tony Preckwinkle, city and county officials, and maybe even your alderman. He has a rotating cast of insiders who actually know what's going on. If you want the headlines and the backstory, start your morning here. First Take at Daybreak. Sundays, 7 a.m., unplugged and unfiltered.
If you're looking to purchase a loved one's home after they passed away, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender. Pam wanted to purchase her grandmother's $400,000 home after she passed away, which was left to Pam's father, Ted, and her Aunt Betty. Ted listens to my show and wanted to forego his half of the equity of his mom's home and sell Pam the home for $200,000. Bad move. I recommended Pam purchase the home for $400,000 and get a gift of equity from her father, Ted, for $200,000. Which enabled Pam to purchase the home with a lower rate and no money out of her pocket. Let's review. I helped Pam purchase her grandmother's home without having to bring a penny to the closing and secure a lower rate. Team Hochberg's helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That's 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Lower.com, equal housing lender, MLS 1124061.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we drive it home. I'm your host, Patti Vasquez, joined in studio by Arad Boxenbaum and our Chief Geek Officer, Elliott Serrano. Do you have a title at the school, at the library board?
Vice President.
Vice President of the Library Board of Geneva, Illinois. You just heard a promo from our friends at Source Solar. They are one of the sponsors of our show that keep these conversations going. Again, go to source.solar. We also want to thank our friends at Pride Coffee Roasters. You can go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and sign up for their bean subscription description and find out about all the great coffee beans that they roast. And they will be at the Jefferson Park Sunday Market. I forgot to talk to the manager market. Sorry, the manager of the market, because Meryl Miller is our market manager, and I often talk to her on Fridays about what's coming up. However, you can go to the Jefferson Park Sunday Market Facebook page and find out about all the great vendors, including Pride Coffee Roasters, and I will be volunteering in there on Sunday, even though I'm going to McLean County tomorrow for their barbecue to host that event as well. I'm fine. Everything's. I did not bite. I did not bite off too much, Elliott. And I'm fine.
Can I tell you something? I know what it's like when you spread yourself thin.
Isn't it crazy?
It is something. It's like, holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Not wait, I got to be there now. People are calling. I'm sorry. Remember we had this? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I should have thrown me into the mix, Elliott.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No.
Figure it out. And Arad, what are some of the conversations you guys have like during the summer? Because it's a little bit different with the programming you guys have, right? And when kids are out of school, but you guys are already gearing up for back to school, aren't you? Because isn't that hard?
It's difficult. Thankfully, what the board mostly does is a lot of policy stuff and then routine maintenance. So, thankfully we have. We have some fantastic employees who are so great when it comes to inclusive programming of all ages.
Great.
A great thing that happened a few months ago, last month actually, for some of our Pride programming. Every now and then, since we passed our DEI initiative, which I'm really proud of, this was years ago, ever since then we get maybe every month or two an email calling us all Marxists. But instead of an email like that, we actually got a really heartfelt email from someone who was just so happy that we were doing that we were just very open, that the LGBTQ community is not going anywhere. It's people we employ, it's people in our community, it's our neighbors, it's our relatives. They're not going away. And, why not have programming that's inclusive for everybody? The world keeps spinning.
I'm glad that they wrote your letter. Don't you think more people should write the positive letters? Because it's only the jerks who are angry that do the very all caps nasty messaging.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're the ones that get all the attention too. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Even when they're very little, we give them all the air in the room instead of like, this is some whatever.
Basically, Trump was elected by all the squeaky wheels in the country.
Yes.
77 million people, which I'm glad finally they're quoting that number. Don't give me, it was a majority of the country. It wasn't even a majority of the electorate. It was just 77 million people, because like how many of the thousands of people decided they didn't want to deal with it and they stayed home.
It's a majority of the ones that they want to count is what they really mean.
That too. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. Now, Elliott, did you see the text directed at you and that they're enjoying listening to you? Mark, it says, my man, Elliott, I've been listening to him on WRMN? RMN. I need my glasses, apparently. Let me get closer to that screen. WRMN a bit. Way to improve that station, too, sir. Wait, yeah. You said you're improving 2 stations.
Thank you. Well, this station's great. I mean, I love the CPT. This is where I kind of like, really cut my hosting teeth here, and the folks here are great. And every time I walk in, welcome back, Elliott. It's nice to see you. I'm like, it feels like, it's like, okay, it's like this scene in Superman when he's got the crap beat out of him in the beginning, and then the robots it's in the trailer. The robots in the Fortress of Solitude put him on this bed, and he gets all this sunlight on him to help him, charge up again. That's what it feels like. I'm like, I'm getting the sunlight here. Thank you. We
do love having you back, both of you. We love having both of you back, as opposed to the end of my tenure at another radio station when remember they were watching us on the camera, security cameras.
I was there.
Yeah, and they were like, Elliott is in a pod bay. Could you please make sure that he's...
And it was never an issue before.
No.
There were times...
For what, 5 years?
5 years. There were times when I would literally, people would call me over. I'd be talking to people in other offices and stuff like that.
Yep.
And suddenly became an issue. But that's fine. I don't need to be here. I can be somewhere else. That's fine.
But it was also nice to know that I was being watched on what do you call closed caption cameras. That was bizarre. Yeah, they would tell me they would be like, no, we saw that your producer was not because at any rate.
Anyway, no need to bring that up. You're already dealing with enough. Let's not bring that
up. When is Elliott going to get a show with Ken? Oh, I need to talk to you guys about filling in for me while I travel. So we'll have some opportunities.
No, Ken definitely wants it. He's been on me about bringing back the K&E show, so we'll talk. Yeah, but it is a lot. It's because then I'm hosting a morning show, and then I'm hosting an evening show. which is fine. I'll do it. As long as the dog lets me take a nice power nap in the middle of the day, I'm good. It's fun.
He has what is Miss Moneypenny? Is she a
Mastiff?
She's a big.
Oh, wow.
She's
a big dog.
She's really not as big as most Mastiffs. She's a mixed Mastiff. If she was a pure Mastiff, she'd be like much taller, but she's 110 pounds.
Is she part pit?
I think she's part boxer.
Part boxer.
She's a little boxer in her. I love her. She's gorgeous. She's my. I do not exaggerate when I tell you she's the thing that keeps me going these days. But at the same time, man, when she gets stubborn and she doesn't want to climb in bed on her own, she wants me to pick her up and put her in bed. I go, girl, no, can't do that. Not if you don't want me throwing my back out. I love you, but not that much.
She's a beautiful dog. Do you have any pets?
Yes, I do. I have 2 dogs, both rescues. One is a senior min pin named Max.
Max.
Yeah, he's about 15 pounds. My stepdad rescued him when he was living in Memphis. He wasn't abused, but his previous owner tried to give him this chemical bath and burned his back really badly. But this just the sweetest dog, and he's growing old with us. He's 15 years old, and then we recently, about a year ago, rescued this German Shepherd named Toby, named after Toby Ziegler from The West Wing.
Oh, come on!
Because
Is he ornery? Is he also ornery and very single-minded and an idealist that kind of alienates other people?
Specifically with his word choice.
Without a doubt. And he's
I think did we just become best friends?
I think we did.
Anyone who knows The West Wing to that level.
I rewatch that every 2 or 3 years just to
we are best friends. We just became best friends. There we are.
If I may, also when you go door knocking, I used to just play it when because you have a lot of people that don't answer the door. I would just play it on my Bluetooth and listen to it while I was walking.
Yes,
it's very inspirational. I can also
immediate mood booster.
Exactly. Yeah, it's bouncing my step. I don't need music. I need language.
The early Aaron Sorkin stuff is incredible. I mean, some of it's aged a little poorly. There's a little problematic stuff with the way the women are portrayed. But I think the idealism, I love it. Yeah, I do that same thing. I mean, I binge watched all 7 seasons during the first Trump administration. I think I went through it 3 times.
Yeah.
And now I'm back into it. I'm like, okay, here we go. And then Ted Lasso, that's another one.
Yes.
And I will bring up, and then I do have. We'll talk about this when we talk about Superman. But I do have a Ted Lasso comparison to this new Superman movie. I think a lot of people are going to be diving into it because of that.
Yeah. Both times that I ran for state representative, I rewatched The West Wing because that was just my cool down. You're working every day basically. And that was my, end of day, done door knocking, this and that. I need that little mood boost. And yeah.
But here's the thing, and I don't mean to, and trust me, I love The West Wing and the Bartlett administration being what they were. I mean, that would be great to have that again. I think the closest to what we had in real life was the Clinton administration, because Clinton was a brilliant guy. I mean, the guy was
well. That's
smart.
what a lot of those characters are based off.
Based
of.
on, yes.
Yes.
But Clinton had his detractors too, and there were a lot of people talking about, he thinks he's the smartest guy and this that, and that was a big thing that was a thing with the Bartlett administration, is that you always see it on the inside. I mean, everyone loves President Bartlett. And you see why. I mean, he is a good man and so on. But on the outside, they almost seem like it's a fiefdom. It's like Bradley Whitford's character, Joshua Lyman. He's an assistant chief of staff. He's the deputy chief of staff, and yet he walks around. He says at one point, "I make the laws. I am the law." Now, if someone in a current administration had said something like that, we'd be like, "What is wrong with you?" But because we know these characters on this television show, we're cool with it. I mean, back to the point though, if we had cool characters like that, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, on the liberal side, I'd be like, okay, cool, do it. I mean, that's, as you said, that's the way the games are played now. You know what? We're not gonna when it's our turn. I'm telling you, when the pendulum swings back, be ready. You know what? Remember how I used to say, "Don't pack the court"? I've changed my mind.
Let's talk about that when we come back. 773-763-9278. Let's continue our conversation with our guest co-host today, Elliott Serrano, our chief geek officer, and our friend of the library board, vice president of the library board in Geneva, Illinois, Arad Boxenbaum, in the studio with us. More in a moment. I hit the wrong button, Elliott. There it goes.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Some people are just natural born runners, but not me. I have come to love running, but to be honest, it took a lot of work. My colleague Madeline recently wrote about her long slog to becoming a runner, and she has some advice that I thought was interesting and wanted to share with you. Number one, she said, is something her dad told her when she went off to college. When you're feeling lonely, sad, overwhelmed, unmotivated, just put on your sneakers. You don't have to put pressure on what you do next, but once your shoes are on, you might find yourself at the gym, on a walk to see friends, or even just doing laundry that's been piling up. I love that advice. Number two, rethink your goals. They don't need to be, and probably shouldn't be, a certain distance or a certain speed you run, but how you feel after. And number three, you should only run when and where you feel comfortable. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on home insurance by checking Allstate first.
Hold it.
Like you know to check the assembly instructions first.
Hold it.
Before building the bookcase.
And done. Whew. You can let go.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Potential savings vary. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates North.
Because facts matter. You're listening to WCPT 820.
Union Strong Chicago continues to lead the way with progressive values and in preserving democracy. Your support of the Minocqua Brewing Company Super PAC efforts in Wisconsin and beyond strengthens the fight against MAGA Republicans. You can now purchase progressive beers like Labor Lager, Love Wins Fruited Sour, and the Resistance IPA in Chicago at Rogers Park Provisions, Diversey Beer, Wine, and Spirits in Lakeview, Park West Liquor, Wine, and Beer in Lincoln Park, Logan Square Liquors, and Tip Top Food and Liquors in Westtown. Visit MinocquaBrewingCompany.com for all their Chicagoland locations. As always, no matter how bad our sports teams are, please drink responsibly.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 773-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
He's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
I do want to take our calls, but I also want to continue this train of thought that we were on a moment ago about how Democrats better be ready when the pendulum does swing back. Elliott was saying that he previously not supported expanding the courts. I didn't ever think that Biden would have the sense of urgency that was needed in that moment. But whether it was because the AG he chose and continued to stick with, and the fact that he wouldn't really address the corruption that was clearly on the courts. Right, and neither did Durbin, by the way, and a lot of those guys who were on the Justice Committee, the judge. Yeah, exactly.
It was all this. It's norms, and at this point,
tradition.
The norms are done. They're out. Yeah. It's time to accept that and move on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's get to Jim. Okay, so this is startling. I think you guys both know about what's happening across the country in this regard that Jim wants to talk about. Jim, you're on with me, Elliott Serrano, and Arad Boxenbaum. What's on your mind, my friend?
Hi, I'm in a little quandary here. I'm going to I was invited to a measles party in Indiana. It's at a nudist camp.
Jim, can I interrupt you for just a second? Can I tell you how comforting it is to hear your voice?
Aww.
Oh, really?
It is. I love when Jim calls. Yeah, go on.
Anything that comforts anybody in this stage of insanity is good with me. But anyway, here's my quandary. It's at a nudist camp in the Undertaker state up in Indiana. And my problem is, here's my problem. If I go, since I've been a little lad, they say, you've got the map of Ireland on your face. So if it does get raided by ICE,
yeah,
and I've never carried documents in my life anyway, but I'm certainly not going to carry them to a nudist camp. But I hope they let me put my Jansons on before they throw me into a tank and take me to El Salvador. But anyway, it's impossible to turn on a radio, watch a television, It's impossible. I never thought I'd get to a point. I'm 75, guys, so you guys are a lot younger. I never thought I'd get to a point where I couldn't even turn the TV on or I couldn't listen to a radio program. I've got classical music on from the morning I wake up until I go to bed. And when they do have a news flash, they only have it at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning on WFNT. And I turn it down right away. I run to the room and turn it down because I didn't want to hear it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how long we can exist like this, but that's my dilemma. Anyway, you guys have a great weekend, and thanks so much for taking my call today.
Thank you, Jim. It's so funny you say that, Elliot. I know he wasn't going to. He doesn't like the act. So there were a couple of days that went by that we had not heard from Jim, and I was like, I'm going to need a wellness check because I haven't heard. I was really nervous. I was like trying to go through. I'm like, do we have his phone number somewhere? Do we call? What's happening?
To let you in on a little inside story here, Jim calls to CPT. Jim, you know what Jim's like. And I've, for the times I've been here when Jim would always call, I love hearing his takes. Mm-hmm. Well, at the other station,
you got a guy like Jim.
I got a guy, but he's James. James is the exact opposite of Jim. Mm-hmm. It's like if you have Superman and you have Bizarro. James, everything Jim would say, and I'm like, oh man, I would love to one day have Jim and James together in the same room and see them go at it. But yeah, so when I hear Jim call, I'm like, oh, that is so... again, sunlight. It's sunlight. Yeah. It's recharging my solar cells.
That reminds me of when I was a congressional intern at a local congressman's office, handling a lot of the constituent calls, and it was exactly the same. There'd be this one woman who, like clockwork, right when Fox and Friends was wrapping up, she would call the office and ramble about whatever they were talking about. And by the end, I'm like, okay, we're going to log your opinions because, you call our office. We respect that. Can you please give me your name and your address? And she would hang up because she would not want it. But then by contrast, there'd always be people who, again, like clockwork, could say, oh, we're just so proud of the work that the Congress member is doing. Thank you for standing up on this and that. And that was like a breath of fresh air every single time.
By the way, this is why I left I hated being a server in the restaurant industry. But there was a day I worked at a place called the Roxy Cafe in Evanston. And I liked it there, but the line chef was a bit rough on me because I couldn't carry more than 2. He wanted us to carry 4 plates stacked on our arms and stuff. And I just didn't have that kind of wrist strength. It's a long story. At any rate, I'll never forget one of my last days there because it just broke my spirit. I had this couple there, and they were celebrating a birthday, and I was taking care of them and stuff. And I also had a table outside, right? And I was doing my due diligence. It was only I think I only had 3 or 4 tables, and they were like, "Oh, can you sit down with us? You're the best server we've ever had." I'm like, "No, I'm really busy. I had some other customers." I went outside, and this one was like, "This is the worst service I've ever had." I'm like, "Could you come inside and sit with these folks? They're very happy." But it was but it is that. Right? It's sort of like that there are always going to be people that have to find something wrong. They're always going to be angry. And that's a lot to manage when it's that constant onslaught, which goes back to, please tell the people that, whether it's in your elected offices or at the restaurant or at radio stations, whatever it is, do the nice things. And by the way, we have great texters who send us kind words. And please know that you are a much louder volume than the people who send some really nasty stuff. Even trying to bring alluding to my son, Declan, and in a rather threatening way. I'm just saying.
And then they're the ones that text in, and I do my Emperor Palpatine voice when I read their texts. The Democrats are looking to bring an end to the Republic.
We'll be talking movies in a moment with Arad Boxenbaum and Elliott Serrano when Mike Crowley from You Probably Agree Reviews joins us. But right now, let's get Paul on from Seattle. Hey, Paul, what's on your mind, my friend?
Yeah, I know. When Jim didn't call, I thought my power was out. I didn't know what time it was. I didn't know when to get up. I was like, what up, man?
Yes.
Yeah, anyway, I wish I could have gotten in to ask the attorney you had on a couple of questions, but...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I couldn't even ask a question. He's got a lot of information to share. Go ahead.
Well, I know, but one thing you said that was... I'm not trying to get wonky or pick on your language, but federal law doesn't supersede state law. It is supreme in the sense that state laws cannot be inconsistent with the Constitution, number one, and secondly, state laws cannot be contrary to federal law. But in the circumstances where the federal law cannot just run over state law. So in this case, where this judge was arrested, he was in the midst of criminal proceedings with this apparently undocumented individual, And those criminal proceedings are his immigration is irrelevant to those criminal proceedings. In other words, you cannot introduce whatever it was. I think it was maybe domestic violence that this guy was. You cannot introduce into evidence the fact that he's an undocumented person because it's not relevant to the case. So while she's in the midst of this trial, the federal government just can't come in and say, we want him. Because, first of all, she's in the midst of criminal proceedings, and 90% of criminal law is state law. The federal government doesn't have a lot of criminal law to deal with, only with regard to the operation and protection of the federal government. So if she were to say, okay, we have a trial, and Mr. whoever is going to spend 9 months in jail here, the federal government can't say no. He's going to serve his term here, and then you can have him. And normally, the Supreme Court has ruled. Of course, all bets are off these days, but normally they've ruled that that the state has their crack at the bite of the apple, and then if there are any federal issues left over, the federal government will deal with that, or any other federal issues with that individual is after the state is done with them. And the federal government, so I'm really surprised at what this magistrate wrote. The federal government is supposed to undermine the state courts at any level, because that is big government, big intrusive government getting in the way of state sovereignty. That's why this is so weird. And that's why what's so weird about Donald Trump's regime,
right?
Is,
yeah. They're trying to get away with a lot.
It is big government.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend, Paul. I've got to take a break here as we continue the top of the hour. Joining me in the studio are elected school library board vice president Arad Boxenbaum from Geneva, Illinois, and Elliott Serrano from Carroll Stream, Illinois. No, from where are you?
Streamwood.
Streamwood. I've heard it both ways.
Carroll Stream's not that far, though.
There you go. Elliott Serrano on studio with us as well. We'll talk movies when we come back on WCPT and KKNW 1150. Hey, Chicago. Hal Sparks is coming back to Chicago for a live show on Saturday, July 12th. He'll be back at Max and Benny's in Northbrook. The Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide, airs Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Guess what? Johnny Million would join him, but most of all, he wants to talk with you about everything going on right now. Tickets are on sale at heartlandsignal.com/WCPT820. Get yours now before they're gone. This remote broadcast is made possible by Max and Benny's Restaurant, Deli, and Bakery.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Active Liver is the easy way to get a daily detox to keep you healthy and feeling your best. Find Active Liver at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
AP News, I'm Mike Hempen. President Trump has been in Texas today, as we hear from AP Washington correspondent Sagar Magani.
President Trump is mourning the victims of the flash flooding in Texas last weekend.
It's hard to believe the devastation.
In the Hill Country,
a little narrow river that becomes a monster.
The flooding killed more than 100 people, and Governor Greg Abbott says more than 160 are still believed missing. The president and First Lady took an aerial tour of the damage and spoke with first responders and families.
My deepest sympathy to all of the parents who lost beautiful young souls.
The president says his administration's doing all it can, and while it's not backing down from pledges to shutter FEMA, he is bristling at questions about whether warnings went out in time and if more lives could have been saved.
Only a very evil person would ask a question like that.
Still, Abbott says Texas lawmakers will take a look.
We're going to work on alerts. We're going to work on every single solution to make sure things like this don't happen again.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
AP correspondent Haya Pinjwani reports on a U.S. base attack last month.
A Pentagon spokesperson says a Qatar airbase was hit with an Iranian ballistic missile during the June attack. The Pentagon acknowledged that Iranian defense systems hit Al Udeid airbase in Qatar during an attack in June after President Donald Trump downplayed the assault. The statement from the Pentagon follows the Associated Press publishing satellite images showing the damage from the attack. Spokesman Sean Parnell says the strike did minimal damage to equipment and structures on the base. He added that the Al Udeid Air Base remains fully operational and capable of conducting its mission. Satellite images show the geodesic dome visible at the Al Udeid Air Base just hours before the attack. I'm Haya Panjwani.
This is AP News. It's a big day for Justin Bieber and his fans.
That's a glimpse of Daisies, one of 21 tracks you'll hear on Justin Bieber's new album, Swag. AP Music reporter Maria Sherman says it may very well be the album's strongest. Bieber surprised his fans today with his 7th album, hours after teasing it on billboards and social media posts. It's his first release since 2021's Justice and his first since becoming a father. The songs touch on various aspects of his personal life, from Go Baby, an ode to his wife Hailey Bieber, to All I Can Take, that includes echoes of his early work that have now transformed to reflect his current adult reality. Def Jam Recordings says Bieber was inspired by his devotion as a husband and father, resulting in some of his most personal music yet. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
I'm Mike Hempen.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely tonight with a low temperature of 72 degrees and south winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Saturday, scattered showers and storms with a high temperature of 86 and southwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunday, lots of sun, high around 83. Monday, sunny with a high temperature of 88 degrees. Tuesday, scattered showers and storms with a high temperature around 88. Wednesday, chance of storms and a high of 86. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 90.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on home insurance by checking Allstate first.
Hold it.
Like you know to check the assembly instructions first.
Hold it.
Before building the bookcase.
And done. Whew. You can let go.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Potential savings vary. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What's on your to-do list? Check your mail? Get groceries? How about getting your annual vaccines? We can help you check that off.
You've got this.
Yes, you do. Because we've got you. With local vaccine events and access to transportation, protecting yourself and your loved ones is not a chore anymore.
You've got this.
A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by U.S. Aging. Funded by the U.S. Administration for Community Living through a grant to U.S. Aging. Learn more at yougotthis.usaging.org.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you for joining us as we continue to drive it home. I'm your host, Patti Vasquez, and in studio joining me are our guest co-host, who we're going to continue our conversation with in just a moment. We have Elliott Serrano. He's our Chief Geek Officer. We'll find out more of the work that he's doing as well in a moment. We have elected Library Board member, Vice President of the Library Board in Geneva, Illinois, Arad Boxenbaum. And I want to thank our sponsors for making these conversations possible. Thank you to Source Solar. Go to source.solar and make an appointment. Maybe it's time for you to get some solar panels on your house or business, and the incentives to get that done have been written out of, I guess they're going to expire because of the big bastard bill. I don't know what to call it. So make an appointment now if you've ever been thinking about it. Have the conversation, and they will steer you in the right direction. And Peter Sorellis and Warren Price will be on with us next week to talk about solar panels and these expiring incentives. We also want to thank our friends at Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and find out about all their wonderful coffee beans and different flavors from around the world. They also have a bean subscription you can subscribe to. And they will be at the Jefferson Park Sunday Market this Sunday with me, where I volunteer. the second and fourth Sundays of the month over by there. It's by Higgins and Long. Actually, Lawrence and Long might be a better landmark because you know where the Jefferson Park the post office or the library. It's over by there. It's if you need the bigger streets, it's near Milwaukee and Lawrence. We'd love to see you there. And thank you to our friends at Minocqua Brewing Company. Go to MinocquaBrewingCompany.com and sign up for the Substack. You'll get to see read some of the essays, as Steve Kravitz mentioned, that I write for that website. And I also want to thank our friends at Kids Above All. Go to kidsaboveall.org and support their mission to help children live happy, healthy, safe lives. I should really write these things down, Elliott. I just do these all off the top of my head, and I should write them down.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Holy mackerel! I'm used to having all the run.
Sorry.
Well, when I host, they know if they don't give me the list, it doesn't get read. So they make sure they give it to me.
Well, that's the thing. They give me a list and it doesn't get read. It's the other way around.
I need the list.
I'm like, oh boy. The Credo Mobile phone and text line is 773-763-9278. Credo Mobile, a progressive phone company that's better for all people on the planet. Visit credomobile.com. And hi to our friends listening at KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul, and KKNW 1150 in Seattle, Washington.
Wow.
Listening here on WCPT 822.
I'm really impressed.
You didn't know that was all? Now
I can see you off the top of your head there.
Nobody knows. Yeah. I look down because I'm trying to remember it all. Right. But no, that's
yeah.
And so thank you. Pride Coffee Roasters is our newest sponsor, so I'll have to get you guys some coffee beans.
But throw that in there. No, at my other station, I have to write my own rundown.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, these are like promoting everything else, but I should probably write myself.
Not that I should mind it, but it's like nice to know what's happening. To sponsors.
It's always good to thank the people we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Arad, we are going to talk movies in a little bit. It does seem that I had mistakenly thought I booked Mike Crowley. I held a spot for him on the schedule and then didn't tell him that he was on. That was me. It was entirely me, and I apologize to everybody involved. That's why we have Jerry, right, Arad?
Absolutely.
It's Hurricane Patty. She picks things up and puts them down in other places. It's fine.
I'm a terrible human being.
No, you're not.
It's okay.
You need a PA.
We'll talk some movies in a moment. Let's get to a listener call because Eduardo's been on for a little bit. Eduardo is calling from Tampa. Hey, Eduardo, are you is Tampa part of the Everglades or no? Eduardo, did you mute us? I know I left him on. There
I'm here.
Yes.
There we go.
Hi. There we go.
Hi.
Yeah. So regarding, excuse me if I jump into the movies ahead of schedule here, but I not seen a movie in a very long time, and I do not like computer generation stuff. I like stuff where just use an example of Live and Let Die, where the stunt actor jumps the alligators. Even that was a stunt. Even though that wasn't Roger Moore, that was a stunt person.
Right.
That is my amazement for like, oh wow, that is awesome.
Do you
not these? Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember the first time? Because I remember the first time I saw something, I'm like, oh, they could have done that without CGI. Do you remember the first time it was kind of glaringly obvious to you that it was not like it was being done to sort of manipulate your experience?
Yeah, the Spider-Man in the 70s with Nicholas Hammond.
Oh, really?
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Was that bad seed? Like
that was obvious, yeah.
It was some interesting special effects with that. Yeah, it was interesting.
I just remember maybe it was because they were making a big deal out of James Cameron and Titanic, but I just remember you could tell oh, that's all computer generated. And oddly, this is such a random story, you guys. I was in Los Angeles about 10 years ago. My Uber driver had worked on Titanic as he did the miniature elements of the ship and things like that. And he said when he was there that James Cameron offered to get them all the special effects guys training in AI and CGI, and he didn't take it. And I was like, this is so hard because now was driving the Uber.
Now he's driving an Uber. Yeah.
Yikes! I was like, it's time's not up, dude.
No, you can still do it, but it's exponential. Plus now AI is being used so they can cut down on the number of artists they have in a studio. So one guy can do the job of 5, and which is the craftsmanship is getting lost.
Which is what Eduardo was calling about. Yeah. So I think what movies are you not looking forward to? Are you going to see Superman? Do you think, Eduardo?
No. I am looking forward to seeing, because I know they already got a director for the next James Bond movie, and I'm looking forward to see who they're going to pick as the actor or actress, whatever that might be the case.
That should be good. Yeah. Denis Villeneuve, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the director, yeah.
He's going to direct it, and after Sicario, If he can do Sicario, he can definitely do Bond. Yeah, no,
Interesting.
definitely.
By the way, I was just asking about bad CGI, and I don't know if this is CGI because we were just watching something, Jason and the Argonauts. The other night.
Oh, that's stop motion.
Right.
Yeah, that's It's
a little bit different.
The
Like,
Harryhausen stuff.
There is something kind of performance-wise with that. But I mentioned to my husband this exact movie. I can't believe you're texting in with the 708, which is Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans.
Which was, I remember, like Medusa with the snake.
With Harry Hamlin
Yes.
playing Perseus. They were trying to capitalize on the Star Wars popularity by doing because Star Wars was mythical anyway, but let's bring back the original mythology, and we'll do Perseus as a fantasy, but we'll give him a little robot owl, which makes no sense. But yeah.
Well, Eduardo, did you want to touch on something else? I think you called about the FBI. You're not calling on behalf of the FBI.
Yeah. Well, now so now it's on a couple of news stories about possibly Patel and Bongino resigning because of the Julie Epstein thing. And I heard on the New York station that Alan Dershowitz, I don't know if it's true or not.
I've seen this.
Oh, you know about that?
Yes,
he saw the list.
He's seen the list, and there are people that would be that it's damaging for, but he can't say anything because of client attorney.
Dershowitz is probably on the list.
Right.
Wow.
Look, I went to this party, but I didn't know, and in fact, I was on my way to a Diddy party anyway.
Yeah, no, I had not heard about Patel, but I had heard about Dan Bongino was also quite upset.
Yeah, so it's both of them. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Eduardo.
Okay, have a good weekend. Yeah,
you too. Thanks.
But Patel's got to keep his eye in both directions. Keep an eye
eyes
going. Yeah. So you know which way they're coming from for him, because when that resignation letter comes. Maybe he didn't write it. It's on that list.
Oh boy,
it's with that list.
How do they find so many random right-wing podcasters to fill into government roles? Like, it's insane to me. And then Bongino, I really hope, that he kind of goes a bit rogue and actually just kind of puts forth bits of the list. We know that Trump's on the list.
Right.
We know that Trump's on the list, but these people still vote for Trump.
That's why I never was like emotionally invested in it. Like I was gonna be like, we're gonna get him.
We've seen this coming a mile away.
And everyone's like, well, why didn't Biden release them? I don't know. One, maybe he just figured he was doing his job, or he figured that MAGA wouldn't believe him if Trump was on it because they already had the goods on him on so many other things. He was convicted of 34 felonies, and they still didn't care.
Again, the norms. They've been trusting in the norms, and you've already have people out there in the X-verse, as you call it, they're already saying, you know what, so what if he did? It's fine. He's still our guy. It doesn't matter. It's still our guy.
Absolutely insane.
So it doesn't, but you know what? Alex Jones, he's going to vomit.
He's crying.
He's crying.
In his car.
I'm going to vomit. I can't believe it. Go away.
And this guy who said that Sandy Hook was all staged, that they were all crisis actors, this piece of garbage. I don't want to hear. I don't. Yeah. He is vomit as far as I'm concerned.
Well, he owes like $1 billion in was it the restitution? But he's never going to pay that money. But
hey, Arad, how are I know that we often think of these ICE raids happening, in whether it's in Los Angeles or that we see that there was these protests on these farmlands. I believe someone has now died from their injuries during this exchange. Yeah. And we are kind of, I feel like we're waiting for the shoe to drop in Chicago. The other day, there were ICE agents swarming the Chicago Puerto Rican Arts and Cultural Museum, and which is bizarre because Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. And
they keep forgetting that.
Well, no, I think it was intended to intimidate. Are you guys seeing any, are there concerns in the community? Because Latinos, let's face it, we're everywhere. Just saying.
I mean, this is something that I did not know this when my family moved to Geneva in 2019. Geneva's like 80% white. It is so white. It's like there are so few Jews as well. They're just so isolating sometimes. But so as far as I know, I haven't seen much, but I do hear of stories in Aurora or up in Elgin.
Aurora especially, I would imagine,
and it's horrifying. And I commute into the city like Monday to Wednesday, and I see ICE officers at Ogilvy all the time. I had this moment 2 weeks ago at the train station in Geneva, and I see these officers, and I'm like, okay, are you Geneva PD or are you ICE? And it's really horrifying to see that. And it's one of those things that they're not going after someone who looks like me, but my My dad became a U.S. citizen in 2010 or 2011. He doesn't live in the United States anymore, but I'll be telling him these stories of how they're arresting people at their immigration hearings. And I remember being in the 3rd and 4th grade when my dad was going through his immigration process, studying the test constantly. He had already been working in the U.S. for a while. I'm a citizen from birth, a dual citizen. So is my sibling, my mom. And I'm telling my dad these stories of these innocent people getting arrested at ICE raids. And he's horrified. He's horrified because he knows that they're going after people who are doing this by the book. And these stories that come out of these quotas, how ICE has quotas of how many people they should be detaining or deporting, it's not acceptable. And it's leading to blatant discrimination that Tim Holman fully supports. I think he went on whatever TV show and basically said that ICE is allowed to discriminate based on color. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what universe you're from if you think that that's okay. Like, that's far even for, it just boggles the mind. And I'm done, holding my tongue. These people are Nazis. These people... And I'm not saying that Republican voters are. No, Tim Holman, Stephen Miller, those people are Nazis.
You're not going to be able to convince the other side using that kind of language. You're really going to alienate more people than you know that you're not going to really. I'm just so tired of hearing that bit too.
There's some people that we cannot convince. Like when I was knocking on doors for the Democratic primary, I ended up knocking on the doors of a lot of Republicans, working for various members of Congress as well in the general election. I've knocked on the doors of Republicans and persuadable voters. There are some people that we're never going to convince.
Exactly.
You're right. 25% of these people we're never going to convince, and we should not be trying to convince them. We should not be trying to cater to them. They're not going to do that to us. But the vast majority of Americans, they can spot a Nazi, right? The vast majority of Americans do not want a government that is so large, no place is safe, that the government can go after you. No American wants that. And I think that we need to have that rhetoric of these people want a huge government. I know they used to call Democrats the tax into submission party or whatever. We're no longer that party. We still believe in a strong welfare system and this and that, but we should be the party of, we're going to leave you alone to live your life. We don't care if you're gay, straight, trans, live your life, be happy. And, as long as everything's, ethical, consensual, legal. And the Republican Party wants to arrest you and decide whether or not your kid plays volleyball.
Yep. And they want to take the genitalia, all the things.
It's insane.
Let's take a break here. We're in studio with my good friends, my guests and guest co-hosts, Elliott Serrano, Chief Geek Officer of the Driving It Home, Patti Vasquez. He's also the King of Geeks. I don't know if that's Chicagoland or is that like a territory, like a Midwestern?
I think Chicagoland works.
Chicagoland. Yeah. Okay, Chicagoland, King of Geeks. And Arad Boxenbaum, who is the Vice President of the Library Board in Geneva, Illinois. More conversation when we come back on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950.
Are you looking for more in this world? Are you ready for something bigger? Then we are looking for you. The big-hearted, the bold, the messy and the gutsy. The teachers, the growers, the builders. The skilled, the sharers, the change makers. We need you. We are the Peace Corps. In more than 60 countries, we go all in and all out. We are volunteers, partners, communities, working together, living together, bringing our experience, passion, and joy to building a better world together. From tackling climate change in Mexico to keeping kids healthy in Kenya, from sustainable farming in the Philippines to education in Kosovo. We learn more, give more, share freely, and serve boldly. Are you ready to tackle the tough stuff? To go the distance to make a difference? Then we have a place where you belong. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, where facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us to continue to drive it home. I need to give away 2 pairs, not 1 pair, 2 pairs, 2 pairs of tickets I have from a gift from Auntie Sherry. You remember Auntie Sherry who's called in when Dwayne Kennedy's here?
Yeah.
She loves him. She loves Hal. She likes me, apparently. I have to work my way up with Auntie Sherry. I'm teasing Auntie Sherry. Thank you so much for the very generous gift. We have 2 pairs left. 773-763-9278. Callers 3 and 4 will win tickets for Hal Sparks show tomorrow at Max and Benny's. You can hear the live broadcast here on WCPT 820, and he'll be broadcasting live from that wonderful bakery, deli, and restaurant. And we're so grateful to Max and Benny's for sponsoring the event and making it happen. Again, 773-763-9278 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Hal Sparks live tomorrow along with Johnny Million. They want to talk about what's on your mind, of course, so you can join them there tomorrow. I have another gift to give away later in the show, so stay tuned for that. 773-763-9278 is the Credo Mobile phone and text line. Credo Mobile, better for the planet and for people. Go to credomobile.com and find out all the great work that they do. Joining me in studio are Elliott Serrano, who is our Chief Geek Officer and the King of Geeks in the Chicagoland area, Arad Boxenbaum, Vice President of the Library Board in Geneva, Illinois. So this is your first time experiencing the Elliott experience, because Elliott and I...
It's a great time.
Isn't it? I mean, like...
Thank you.
Thank you. Here's the thing. Like, we could talk Star Wars, and obviously West Wing. The Bible, like, I don't know what your Bible knowledge is, but his
I'm
is...
Jewish, so probably not.
The Old Testament,
Your
maybe?
Old Testament,
I don't know.
the Torah, yeah, okay, gotcha. Right. Shalom.
Shalom, yeah.
But so it's like, it's just fun to be in a room with 2 people who are passionate about the issues that are important to so many progressives. And Elliott, let us know a little bit about, I know you do a lot of, are you still doing some online shows? In the past, you've done Shaken Not Stirred.
Yes. Well, now I have...
You have a wrestling show on...
A wrestling show, yeah. I've got my new show is called The Torn Quadcast, where we discuss professional wrestling. Well, the tagline is the only show that talks sports entertainment, sports, and entertainment. So we do pro wrestling, other types of sports, and also other forms of entertainment, because pro wrestling is so much, pro wrestling fans are in the comic books and video games and all that. We fold all that other stuff in there because there are a lot of shows out there that talk about pro wrestling. We wanted ours to be a little bit different and branch out into other things. So that's been my big one now. It's every Saturday at 6 on another station, or catch it on YouTube. Every Saturday premieres live, and it's a lot of fun. You get to see me kind of really geeking out a bit. I have a co-host who's much more level, than I am, and we just have fun snarking at each other back and forth and talking about different things in entertainment to kind of get our minds off this dumpster fire of a world that we're in right now.
Have you seen my emotional support dumpster fire? That's what that is right there. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Are you fine? Are you okay, Arad?
I'm in therapy, but otherwise I'm fine.
Okay, see, I'm still mad at Marty McFly for bringing that darn great sports almanac back and letting Biff get a hold of it, because he's been a president since. It's just, ugh.
I think that's correct.
No.
Yeah. It's exhausting. This is there isn't really a way to pace. There's not like a frame of reference. There's no like, here's, I mean, part of, we were talking about how this concentration camp in the Everglades, what's being called a detention center, where we already know people are suffering. But it's not even comparable as far as like what we do in this world of social media, of instant news, of the way things are being reported, right? So the headlines of Tom Homan today saying not just that racial profiling is okay, but people can be detained based just on how they look, their appearances. And, they're not going to the Irish American Heritage Center. They're not going to Copernicus Center, where we do also, in these communities, there are illegal Irish migrants here, undocumented individuals who are breaking it's a civil law, by the way, around. How do we get that? That's another thing we can't get. It's exhausting.
It's anything because we saw this with the Nazis, right? We saw this in World War II. It is anything to not just give the government the ability to go after these people, but to justify it as, they're criminals, right? So with my family in Poland, which is now parts of Ukraine, it was about, like it's going after some of the smaller things,
right?
Like their citizenship, and that's how you justify this violence. That's how you justify these atrocities against human beings, and it is textbook what the Nazis have been doing, and it's one of those things. And last year, my grandmother passed away very suddenly. She was born in a West German refugee camp. At the funeral, in lieu of flowers, we said you had to donate to Kamala Harris. She was always my biggest fan. And then around the end of the year, my grandfather passed away, and he, before the age of 13, survived the ghettos, the Holocaust, and Siberia. He witnessed at least 5 of his siblings starve to death, all because they were Jews. And what my family's been doing is in trying to get Polish citizenship and thus EU citizenship. So, if we need to flee the country, we've been going through some of the records of our family's ownership, like land ownership and this and that, all the records dating back from the 1800s to the rise of the Nazis and the takeover of Poland. And it goes from their owning land all the way down to, I had a relative who was a tailor and he had to register his sewing machine. It was horrific to be like, this is at the start of this year that we're going through these documents. It was horrific to see the erosion of my family's rights. And all the while, whenever I'm doom scrolling on social media, it's the exact same thing. It's really, really terrifying stuff. But you know what? The Nazis lost. The Nazis got spanked, and then we had the Nuremberg trials, and the pendulum swung.
Right.
And I think that's really what we need. And I've been saying the pendulum is going to swing back our way for a while now. And I believe we need to act.
I see some cynicism coming from this energy.
Sorry about that.
No, not cynicism. And I want to agree. Yeah. And God knows I desperately need to agree.
Yeah. Hold that thought. More after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150 in Seattle, Washington, KTN of AM 950. Yeah, we have to go to the break.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely tonight with a low temperature of 72 degrees and south winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Saturday, scattered showers and storms with a high temperature of 86 and southwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunday, lots of sun, high around 83. Monday, sunny with a high temperature of 88 degrees. Tuesday, scattered showers and storms with a high temperature around 88. Wednesday, chance of storms and a high of 86. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 90.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
This is a WCPT 820 20th Anniversary News Minute.
Excuse me, I'm talking. That's Senator Bernie Sanders during a heated exchange with Hillary Clinton at a 2016 CNN debate in Flint, Michigan, which took place on the eve of the Michigan primary that Sanders won. The 1-point victory was considered a major upset, showing Clinton's vulnerability with working-class voters.
Your story is for voting for every disastrous trade agreement and voting for corporate America. Did I vote against the Wall Street bailout? When billionaires on Wall Street destroyed this economy, they went to Congress and they said, oh, please, we'll be good boys, bail us out. You know what I said? I said, let the billionaires themselves bail out Wall Street. Shouldn't be the middle class of this country.
Okay. I'm Mike Mercado for WCPT, Chicago's Progressive Talk since 2005.
Hey, Chicago. Hal Sparks is coming back to Chicago for a live show on Saturday, July 12th. He'll be back at Max and Benny's in Northbrook. The Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide, airs Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Guess what? Johnny Million would join him, but most of all, he wants to talk with you about everything going on right now. Tickets are on sale at heartlandsignal.com/WCPT820. Get yours now before they're gone. This remote broadcast is made possible by Max and Benny's Restaurant, Deli, and Bakery.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Patti Vasquez, we appreciate all our fans of Driving It Home, and your support of show sponsor Minocqua Brewing Company ensures that our important conversations continue right here on WCPT each weekday from 5 to 7 p.m. You can now find the Resistance IPA, Labor Lager, or the Resistance Pilsner beer at several Illinois locations, including Arminetti Wine and Spirits in Woodstock, Pineapple and Company in North Riverside, Lions Beverage Depot in Arlington Heights, and MP's Liquor, Wine, and Beer in North Aurora. For a full list of Chicagoland locations, please visit MinocquaBrewingCompany.com. As always, please vote and drink responsibly.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. Joining me in studio is Arad Boxenbaum, who is the Vice President of the Library Board in Geneva, Illinois. Elliott Serrano, our Chief Geek Officer and the King of Geeks in the Chicagoland area, joins us in studio. The front door's ringing. I feel so bad because I told Mike Crowley, what if he drove over here after I texted him? Mike Crowley, the reviewer for YPA Reviews, You'll Probably Agree Reviews. I thought I had him on the show. And usually I tell people, like, don't worry about what you meant to do. But if Mike is listening, I am so embarrassed because this is entirely on me. So I don't think that I confirmed with him. This is why I have a Jerry.
Oh, no.
This is why I have a Jerry. That's why I have a Jerry. Because I'm exhausted. My brain is fried. So to the movies. I do feel bad.
Well,
yes.
Yeah. Well, can I put a button on the discussion we were having?
Oh, yes. So it was Elliott's turn.
So it was my turn, but we did have
let's
FYI.
recap.
Right.
Yes.
Recap, but we did have a conversation off air, and I don't want to delve too deeply into it now because it's just going to depress me. But yes,
Rod's point was that the Nazis lost.
The Nazis lost,
and the pendulum swung back. We have the Nuremberg
and we're hoping that it swings back here as well. The other problem, though, is that the Nazis would have won were it not for Pearl Harbor, and the American citizenry here in the United States. We like to sit there and go, "Oh, we beat the Nazis. The Nazis are terrible." No, America was very sympathetic for Nazis. There was a Nazi party in the United States, and were it not for Pearl Harbor,
dragging us kicking and screaming into
the war, there's a good chance that Hitler would have won, or at least he would still have been around for a while.
Absolutely, 100%. And my Gen Z 24-year-old optimism, I talk about the pendulum swinging because this country has never confronted its demons head on. Ever.
No, not at all.
And I hope we confront this demon, but I don't. Realistically,
we have slavery we still can't deal with, and now we have Nazism there.
Well, it would take a very bold Democratic Party. I mean, right now there's only choices we have: Republican or Democrat. So the Democrats have to be bold. We were talking about what's our plan when the pendulum swings back, when people realize that when I talk about the cuts in Medicaid and that 500,000 people in Illinois will lose their Medicaid, what you need to understand is, I know you're like, oh, well, that's not going to affect me, or I have a job, or all those things. It means that the facility facilities that also provide their care will no longer get that funding, which means they're going to start closing clinics, whether it's mental health or urgent care, or in these rural areas, there are 9 hospitals that are already vulnerable before these cuts come through. 93 senior care facilities, and these are just a few of the things: early intervention, all the stuff. So it has a massive domino effect if the dominoes are made out of the material from Stonehenge. Like like just huge multi-ton dominoes landing on this entire country.
I've yet to have a Republican explain to me how the big beautiful bill actually works. And how can you cut taxes and increase spending and expect the deficit to go down? Mm-hmm. Add to that how you cut all these services to people, how you shrink government when your country's getting bigger. Mm-hmm. So and then all you get is explain to me. I remember when they said that the Trump cuts in 2016 were going to pay for themselves. Did they pay for themselves? No. The deficit exploded again. Mm-hmm. And yet they can't. This is what we're going to again. This fuzzy math that they're doing right now. I call it just basically a heist in plain sight. Mm-hmm. The transfer of wealth. And the thing that drives me nuts the most is that they're sitting there praying on the House floor, asking Jesus to help them, bring this legislation through. And I'm like, oh. It just makes me angry. It just does.
Republican members of Congress probably didn't even read the bill before voting for it.
No.
They don't know what's in it whatsoever. So they'll believe any talking points of, this will bring sunshine and rainbows and it'll pay for itself.
You know what does bring sunshine and rainbows though? The new Superman movie.
Great transition.
Now, how much of that is based on the fact that crypto's in the movie?
Okay, that's huge. I will say. Okay,
it's the first major feature film with
crypto. Uh-huh. Yes. Now, this is the first big Superman movie in a while. I mean, Man of Steel underperformed, but this is the first new Superman movie of a new DC universe movie universe, and it's James Gunn doing it. And I'm gonna tell you right now. And I'll lead off with this. It is the most comic book of comic book movies, even more than the Marvel movies. James Gunn makes no pretense, doesn't try to do things like make things realistic, so to speak, like with the Iron Man movies, where Iron Man's armor looks technologically feasible. It's just, no, Superman flies, and he has powers, and there are all these other characters with powers,
and he's woke,
he's super woke, that's a thing too that got me, and the reason I was like so compelled to come on today here to talk about this was because first, Dean freaking Cain yet again. When you do a meme about Dean Cain and it goes viral, it's because he's talking again in the media. And when you have old TikTok videos that you've done about Dean Cain suddenly pop up in your feed and people are commenting them on again, Dean Cain said something. And
what did he say?
What is it? He says, let's do Superman movies, but they need to, I don't want it to go all pro-immigrant and talk about immigrants. And I'm like, dude, first season. I mean, the last time he was in the media is because they come to him and they always ask him about Superman. And when he goes on Fox News, he's their apparent Superman expert because he played Superman for a while, which is fine and dandy. And then, of course, there are a lot of people who love his portrayal of Superman in Lois and Clark: The Adventures of Superman, which I remember watching it as a kid.
He was super cute.
He was. I even was like, I remember when he was first cast as Superman. The first thing I went, and I'm a Puerto Rican kid. I love Superman. I don't have a problem that Superman's basically a wasp, okay? Created by 2 Jewish teenagers, right? Mm-hmm. Fine. I have no problem with that. Cool. Just like I don't mind that Peter Parker's a kid from Queens, fine? So, but then when Dean Cain gets cast, I'm like, he looks a little dark to be playing Superman to me, that's the first thing I'm thinking. Am I complaining? No, but I'm like, wow, he doesn't look like your typical Superman type.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, but I thought he was Latino when they first.
Yeah, I thought he was Latino too, but he's like, he's Asian.
Wonder Woman is Latina.
Latina, yeah. Linda Carter. Yeah.
Yes. She's ours. Get her. We get her.
You get her.
Yeah.
So I'm there going.
Me especially. She's also Irish and Scottish.
So I was cool with Dean Cain. I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. It's a guy. He's a person. He's Asian. His father is Japanese, so he's part Asian. And that's I'm like, okay, that's cool. But now he's like this total right-wing guy. He's like another James Wood or Kevin Sorbo type. And he has to comment on Superman every time. The first time it was when they made Jonathan Kent, Superman's son, who's like Superboy, he's bisexual. Like, okay, all right, cool. No, Fox News says they made Superman bisexual. No, they didn't. Superman is still Superman. It's his son. And then, of course, then Dean Cain, who, again, obviously didn't read a comic book or hasn't even looked at a Superman thing since he played the character, goes, yeah, well, they just, these days, these liberals just want to make everything, they just want to ruin everything that's good about America and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you played this character for so long, and then when I criticize him, then I have all the Dean Cain defenders come out going, well, he played a really good character. It was a great character, regardless of his political opinions. I go, no, but he's going out there as a Superman expert, or because he played Superman, he's representing Superman. I'm like, but he's not. He's not doing that. So when he's talking about this new movie, which I'm telling you is the purest representation of Superman as a character since Christopher Reeve did it back in 1978. I mean, to have him come out and go, well, it's going to be, everyone say it's going to be woke. It's going to be talking about immigrants. It's an immigrant story. You know how many times they say the word immigrant in the movie? Zero. Zilch. How many times do they say the term illegal alien? Zero. Zilch. They say the word alien once, but that's because Lex Luthor is talking about Superman coming from the planet Krypton. He does call him an alien, and then he calls him an it afterwards.
So you're saying that Superman's an immigrant? It's woke.
Well, technically, he's a refugee because he was coming from a. But it doesn't matter.
That's woke.
Republicans don't want them either.
He's not from Arkansas.
Yeah, I remember the first time I was talking about the whole thing with Superman, and I created a meme. A few years again, first Trump term, I created a meme, literally sitting using the bathroom. I made it. It was Christopher Reeve as Clark Kent, Christopher Reeve as Superman. It goes around every once in a while. You'll see it. It basically says at the top, he goes on one side it's journalist, on the other side it's illegal immigrant, and then across the bottom it says enemy of the American people. Because remember, what Trump called him? And I set that out, and I did not expect it to go viral. I did not expect George Takei. I did not expect Mark Hamill. I did not expect the tweet of God. The tweet of God retweeted my meme. And it's getting around. And then I had Republicans and conservatives coming after me and going, well, that's not true. You're sitting there, you're using a fictional character to make your point. And I said, what? And I go, anyway, Superman would be a dreamer. I go, yeah, you guys want to get rid of the dreamers too, so don't even talk.
Here we are.
My favorite was the whole, you're using a fictional character to make your point. You go, I remember when you guys used Jack Bauer to justify torture.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, remember that? So when the right-wing folks go out there and they start talking with authority on a character like Superman or saying that it's being changed, or when anyone comes out and goes, oh, this is woke now, this is so woke, that means you've never read a comic book, or when you were a kid, you didn't get the lessons that it was supposed to teach you.
Here's my question. Should we go see Superman?
Oh, no, definitely see Superman. The dog is great. I love the dog. Crypto is great.
In the movie. Do you have any plans to go see Superman? Do you know? Is this?
I do now. I guess I have to.
No, go see it. You got to see it.
Well, especially because of how they, the whole anti-woke thing has really had an impact. But I think Superman's going to be safe. Especially, I've seen a lot of these headlines of the reviews. So let's take a break here. Continue our conversation when we come back with Vice President of the Library Board of Geneva, Illinois, Arad Boxenbaum. What's your website? I mean, where should folks find out about the work you do or support you and keep up with what you're doing?
My old campaign website is votearad.com. That's vote, V-O-T-E, and then Arad, A-R-A-D. It's D as in dog, .com. And then I'm all over
social
Instagram,
media?
Twitter as my full name, Arad, A-R-A-D, Boxenbaum, that's B-O-X-E-N as in North, B as in boy, A-U-M as in Mary.
And your socials, Elliott, for folks to find what you're up to?
At Elliott Serrano, 2 L's, 2 T's, 2 R's, everywhere. And except on TikTok, I'm Elliott Serrano Jr. And yeah, when you see the Dean Cain meme pop up, that's me. I mean, not that it really matters. I didn't brand it or watermark it, but when it goes around, everyone's sharing it again. But I created it, just so you know.
We will head into the home stretch in just a moment on WCPT 820, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950.
Stephanie Miller.
I've gotten more mail than I've ever gotten in my entire life. Because a lot of people have a lot to share, and they can't always make it on the phone lines, or they're nervous. And trust me, whatever you're going through, me too. All of us. Wherever you are in your timeline. Drunk, sad, scared, angry. Right there with you. Thank you for people saying they're not listening to anybody but me. I think that's a good plan. Because I'm just like, blah, 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 blah.
Stephanie Miller. Weekday mornings, 8 to 11 on WCPT 820.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Morgan Fairchild, and I am a lifetime lover of animals. I've rescued every pet I've ever had, so I know firsthand that when you adopt a shelter pet and make them a member of your family, it not only enriches you and your family's lives, but that of your pet's life as well. The champions at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years. Whether certifying the humane treatment of farm animals, rescuing animals caught in disasters, ensuring the safety of animal stars on screen, or protecting our planet's endangered species, they go above and beyond to further their mission and make the world a kinder place for animals. Please consider adopting a shelter pet and supporting American Humane.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. Our guest co-hosts today have been Arad Boxenbaum, Vice President of the Library Board in Geneva, Illinois, and our friend also, we have Elliott Serrano, Chief Geek Officer of the Patti Vasquez Driving It Home show, because we've known each other for over a decade, and we met over the George Lucas Museum, which is now opening in Los Angeles in the very near future.
The pain that causes me.
We have listeners calling in, Jeff and Elgin. Jeff, what's on your mind, my friend?
Hey, I hope you guys are staying hydrated.
Cheers. Yep.
This is great, and the intersectionality of like media and quote unquote woke culture and progressive values is always something I talk with friends about all the time. But don't forget on the Marvel side, Stan Lee was pretty freaking woke in his own right.
There you go.
Especially
he wrote about it.
And the way, it's wild stuff. But while we're on the movie topic, I got to put a plug in, and I know it's still out there in a few theaters in each city, especially in the Chicago area with our dearth of theaters that we have out here. Sinners, man.
Oh, I've heard it's great. Yeah.
One of the best movies I've seen in like the last 5 years, I swear.
They just debuted on Max. They just put it on HBO Max.
Would you recommend it better on the big screen?
Okay.
I would watch it.
I recommend it. I saw it twice. I saw it in IMAX, and that was my favorite viewing because it's gorgeous. It is beautifully shot.
Yeah.
I think Coogler did it in 3D or did it in IMAX with the intention of having it be on a big screen. So if you can, check it out because it's pretty awesome. And with your library board guest, I just want to put a plug in. I'm on the Parks and Recreation Board in Elgin, and that's a volunteer appointed position. Mm-hmm. We have all the suburbs, all the local communities have tons of boards and commissions like that too. That they need. They need progressive voices. They need liberal points of view. They need people to volunteer. And we meet for a couple hours, like bi-monthly. So it's not even like a huge time commitment for a lot of folks. But there's stuff like that in every community, easy ways to get involved and still make sure that you can live out your values.
I love it.
Absolutely. I'm
Jeff?
nodding my head so much my neck hurts. Absolutely.
Hey Jeff, I want to have you come on WRMN out there in Elgin. I could use more allies over there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the people that call into some of the RMN shows are a little
tell me about it.
A little right of center.
A little right, but we're working on it. We're working on it there. We want to be more center there, but there are a lot of folks there who really love their right wing politics. And if you listen to the show, I do take my shots from time to time. When I'm there. So
excellent.
Yeah, I think they started picking up. They started rebroadcasting. I think some of the Heartland Signal shows in the late night.
Yeah,
some nights a week.
Yeah,
so they're not live, but they're rebroadcast out there.
And we're also we're doing more in studio stuff from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. and I do mornings there from 6 to 9 every morning. So I'd love to hear from you.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but you can listen to him after you listen to Richard Chu, who is on weekday mornings from 6 to 8 a.m. And coming up, he just had to Mayor Brandon Johnson this morning. You can listen to that interview afterwards.
Richard ain't got no time for me, though. I've tried calling into Richard's show a bunch of times, and I can never get through.
I'll get you through.
Maybe he doesn't have the
Jeff. I'll talk
maybe
to
he
you.
doesn't have the glory and magic of Lady D working the board.
Yeah, it's a little different because the producer has to be inside the studio, so it's a little harder to get to the calls for Henry. Keep trying.
And our phone system is weird. It forwards some people to the San Francisco for some reason. I don't know. So hey, you give it a shot.
Oh, wow.
You never know.
Anyway, this show rocks. You guys rock.
Thank you.
Have
a great
outstanding weekend. Stay hydrated.
Thank you. I might have stickers made. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Appreciate it. Also, speaking of which, coming up on the Richard Chu Show on Monday, Reed McCollum, our friend from Progressive Turnout Project. He's also the chair of the McHenry County Dems. He'll also have Chicago Alderman Andre Vasquez and leaving MAGA's Rich Logis and Terry Hurst. That's 6 to 8 a.m. while Elliott's on. Let's just make sure that we're promoting.
No, it's funny. It's funny. I've read those rundowns. I've read those plugs too. Oh my God, that's fine.
Monday on Live Local and Progressive, Jen Esposito will be taking your calls and talking to Leah Littman, author of Lawless: How the Supreme Court Runs on a Conservative Grievance, Fringe Theories, and Bad Vibes. That's gonna be a good conversation.
When Patti was away on vacation, I actually did a crossover between this station and the other station.
Did you really?
We called the other station on air.
That's so cool.
We crossed over. Yeah.
Amazing.
It was kind of neat.
Interesting.
Because it's all independent radio.
It's all terrestrial radio, and
let's
promote. Let's get
promote each other. But that signal, out there. I think by the time I get here to this station, you can't hear it anymore. So I can get CPT all the way by me, by near home, but I can't get the RMN signal here. So I'm never really competing.
Before I get to our next caller, I do want to say something about watching movies in the theater, which I have only done since 2019. I've only been to the movie theater, I think, 3 times. Right, the pandemic, and we're all like, well, we can watch it at home and whatever. It's the only place I really do not look at my phone for 2 hours.
I wish other people would follow that.
I'm just saying, but I didn't at home. You're kind of like, this scene's a little bit whatever. They're talking a lot and whatever.
Remember when we were talking about during the pandemic? I can't wait to be able to go out again, be around other people, go to a movie, watch a movie. We forgot how jerky people can be when you're out in public.
And so got worse.
It got worse. People have gone back to be berating their wait staff. They're in movie theaters, pulling their phones out, talking during the movie. I'm like,
I don't tolerate that.
Yeah, is this what it meant? What we missed? I know I didn't miss it, and that's why movie theaters are having a hard time getting business back because of that type of behavior.
Go to the movies, folks. Go for something fun. Go for something big. Have you been to the theaters?
Absolutely.
What's the last movie you saw in the theaters? Do you remember?
Oh boy, it was. Off the top of my head.
I know. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh yeah, no. It was Wicked. It was the Wicked movie.
Oh really? That's a good one to see on the big screen.
That was a great time.
1,000%.
I've seen it twice.
I only went to go see the Materialists, which can definitely be on a small screen, but it was fun to be in a theater and just relax. And it'd been really caught like a lot of stuff going on. It's a weird movie.
Well, it's nice seeing Captain America and Mr. Fantastic. With
very strange.
With Madam Web.
Yeah,
all of them.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
It takes a weird turn that I wasn't expecting. And like the woman who wrote it and directed it used to work at a matchmaking sort of agency.
Yes, right.
So I get why she put this in the movie, but it kind of felt shoehorned. Is all I'm going to say. If people who've seen it, also a little bit of a warning for my fellow survivors. Is all I'm saying. Let's get to Roosevelt. Yeah, it was weird. Hey, Roosevelt, what's on your mind, my friend?
Patty, have a nice weekend, my friend.
Thank you. Oh, I'm going to be in McLean County, by the way. I'll be at the I think it's Bags Barbecue and Dems in McHenry and McLean County. So I'm going to be down in Bloomington Normal. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me, Roosevelt. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that yesterday. You were talking to a gentleman from there, I believe.
Patrick Cortese, the chair. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't think of his name, but I got some hot news flash for you. Related to radio stations. Amy Jacob, did you get my...
Oh, no, I knew this last week. They apparently were eliminating positions. Yeah, this was... I think this broke... I'm sorry. It's not something I would have covered, but Justin Kaufman covered this in Axios, or on his own, because Justin covers like the broadcasting and journalism arenas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but yes.
So you know, there's going to be people that are disappointed, such as our crossover caller, Eduardo from Florida, because that was his favorite show. The
Eduardo
morning.
Seems like I think Eduardo's thing was often COVID, but I haven't heard him in the calls that he's made to the station recently, give any evidence. I'm just saying.
If you're ever interested, I could fill you in. I mean, I could with his own voice, because that show is recorded on Facebook, and you'll be interested to find out. You know, he calls your station and says one thing, and then calls his favorite station, which is Amy Jacobson, and says the total opposite.
Right.
He dogged our senator from California.
We're going to wrap up in a moment. Was there anything you wanted to get to, Roosevelt? Because I knew about Amy, and it's not.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to say about the 72 hours that took for Kristi Noem to react or to act down there in Texas, that's very critical, and it's a shame that all those lives were lost.
Yeah. She didn't sign off on the funding or the orders to send rescue workers down there, which is horrible.
And Patty, to add to that, is because these people they want to be replicas of the guy that gave them the job. They have to comply for what he drives them. What is that? Money. It's all about the money.
Yep.
The money that they're going to make with this. I don't want to say the words. The bill. I'm just going to call it the horrible bill.
I got to get to something before I wrap up the show.
Thank you very much.
We'll absolutely talk more about it. Yeah, thank you, Roosevelt. I appreciate it. I want to let folks know I know there was some heavy weather coming this way. There is a tornado watch in effect for Cook, DeKalb, DuPage, Grundy, Kane, Kendall, LaSalle, Lake, McHenry, and Will counties until 11 p.m. Folks, please stay tuned in to the places you have for your emergency weather information, because we go to syndicated shows next. So please make sure you're paying attention to the weather. But there is a tornado watch in effect for Cook, DeKalb, DuPage, Grundy, Kane, Kendall, LaSalle, Lake, McHenry, and Will counties until 11 p.m. Elliott, another reminder for folks to find you.
At Elliott Serrano, 2 L's, 2 T's, 2 R's on all social medias.
And Arad.
Arad Boxenbaum, that's A-R-A-D, D as in dog, Boxenbaum, B-O-X-E-N-B-A-U-M.
Excellent. Thank you for coming, you guys, and hanging out with us. Oh, we have to do a quick whiskey and cookie. All right, bye, everybody. Thank you, Lady B. Love you. Have a great weekend. Thank you to our sponsors, Pride Coffee Roasters, Source Solar, our friends at Kids Above All, and Monaco Brewing Company. Bye, everybody.
Thanks to the Biden-Harris administration's prescription drug law, people with Medicare now have lower costs and more benefits, including a $35 monthly cap on covered insulin,